So before we even start, I want to ask you something real. If you ever caught yourself thinking, am I actually healing or am I just dragging my past into new people's lives? Yeah, I said it. This episode is definitely going to be for you. So welcome back to the Built Different podcast. This is your place for all the unfiltered truths about dating, living your best life after 40. Forget that old script. We're here to shake things up, keep it real. So if you ever caught yourself wondering, am I just carrying old baggage into a brand new chapter? Well, you're exactly in the right place. Let's dive in and make it fun, make it real, and trust me, we're about to have a blast. So when I was getting to the age of beautiful 40, I would just be dating with a better credit score. That's what I thought. And survey said that was kind of a lie.
Yeah,
So
I
I
don't
guess
think
you build your credit score. You don't date with a credit score.
yeah, yeah, I don't think that was reality. But hi, I'm Julie, therapist and coach, and living proof that no matter what we do for a living, we're all figuring this out in real time.
So I don't have a fancy name, no fancy title. I'm just a CSP, 19-year firefighter, a master's degree holder, and basically built for controlled chaos, which is probably why I somehow ended up with a doctorate in situationship and a minor in bad texting because I don't know how to text back at all.
Oh no. And actually you said it wasn't fancy, but it's a little fancy.
Yes, just a little
It's a
bit.
little fancy.
Just a little bit.
All right. Well, today we're talking about dating with baggage. Everyone has it, so we're not judging.
Mm.
This is a safe space.
Safe at all. I don't know about that. And not the cute little carry-on baggage we're talking about. We're talking about full check luggage, overweight fees. And that's one mystery bag. And that one mystery bag that nobody claims that baggage claim that probably looks like the one I have because I don't.
The big three: kids, it's a big one; exes, it's a huge one; and trauma, sometimes related to the exes. Because when you're dating at 40, or honestly at any age, you don't arrive empty handed. We all come with history, and that's normal.
And real talk, we're not just talking about their baggage. We're talking about what you came with. We all got some. Some of us didn't just bring a carry-on. We rode in with the full Louis Vuitton matching set, wheels, tags, and trauma all included. And
Right.
I'm telling you right now, I probably was one of those individuals that had little baggage, just a little bit,
Yeah.
overweight.
It's all of us, right? And if you're navigating any of this, we want to hear from you. Kids, exes, healing, the messy middle. We read everything you send and we want to help the best way we can. So feel free to send us a DM or a message. Contact us.
So we're gonna jump into segment 2, dating when you have kids.
Okay.
Man, all right, kids. Dating with kids rewrites the entire rule book.
Yeah.
And you can't just say, yeah, come over. You got to check the custody schedule. You got to check with your child. I remember asking somebody, "Are you free on Saturday?" And the individual answered back, "Let me confirm with my 8-year-old," which I was like, "Wow, okay." And that's really truly how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you've got school, you've got practices, you've got to navigate babysitters, birthday parties. Having kids truly changes everything. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is feeling pressure to either hide their kids or introduce them far too early out of anxiety. Honestly, it can be tricky to figure out when to introduce your kids and how to introduce them.
So I guess the question is, so when is the right time? Because some people drop it in their bio. I remember when I was on the dating web app, they were dropping it in their bio on day one, real, I have kids, deal with it, energy, no warm up, no context, just boom. Here's the whole situation. If you don't like it, bounce. I respect that.
Okay.
I don't have to deal with it, but I respect it.
True. Well, I think that you should be upfront that you have children. Absolutely. You don't want to mislead someone with a life detail that big. Like you're 6 months into dating, you're like, by the way, I've got 5 kids or something like that, right? But the intricate details, the co parenting dynamics, when someone gets to meet your kids, that timeline is entirely yours. And it has to be determined by different things: mindsets, lifestyles, relationships that you have maybe with your ex.
Mm.
But let's be honest, a first date is not the place for a full custody briefing. What matters early is this: is this person okay with the fact that you have kids? And does this person respect that your kids come first?
Come first. And I always tell people back in the days, if I wasn't coming first, then I was going last. So adios, amigo. That was just the way I did it. All I gotta say is, and if they don't, cool, that's your answer. I totally respect that. I really, even though not having kids, I do like kids that come first before me because that is your bread and butter. I'm just a piece of a sandwich that's coming in. So
No.
for me, it's just if you don't have your kids come first and you put me ahead of your kids, I think that's kind of backwards. That's just personal opinion.
Yeah, I think it's about integration, right? Like, it's not just about, like, all these separate pieces, but how do we integrate all of this together? And here's the balance. You also do need to be fair to the person that you're dating. Don't make someone audition for a role that doesn't even have a job description yet. You really have to manage your expectations.
Well,
This person might not know if they like you that much, let alone figure out if they're ready to be a bonus parent to your kids. So I think you do have to make sure that you guys have alignment first and
so
that you built your foundation.
So when she say bonus parent, I'm gonna just say next. We're definitely moving on. I don't like the word bonus parent because I'm not a bonus parent. I don't think nobody else out there is bonus parents, but I think
Mhm.
you have to respect the person's situation, whatever situation it is. If it's having adopted kids, having regular kids, having whatever type of kids, you do have to respect that to a certain point. If not, then like I said, it's somebody out there for everyone.
Yeah. Maybe you're not a match.
So let's talk jealousy since we're talking about
Mm,
bonus
mm,
parenting or bonus people in people's lives
okay.
because co-parents are still around and they
Yeah.
should be. But listen, new partners struggle with that dynamic all the time. I'm speaking from experience
Mhm.
and trust me, I've been in this situation before. It was a full-on headache, a migraine with no Tylenol energy, but I stayed and I was out there acting like I had PTO for emotional stress. Trust
Goodness.
me, it was a back and forth thing, but it just depends on what you want as a person. You have the choice to stay, you have the choice to move on.
Absolutely. And this comes up constantly. So if someone is threatened by your co parent simply because the relationship is functional, right? Like you have a good co parenting relationship, no, extra going on, then that's a red flag about them, but not you, right? Co parenting isn't this competition to see who's a better man or woman, right? But it's also important to have boundaries in place with your co parent. I once saw this TikTok where somebody's co-parent was cooking them breakfast in a tank top and boxer
Mm,
shorts. I don't think that's what we're talking
that
about
sounds
here.
like a
I don't
baby
think
boy situation.
right,
That's
except
right.
it was a co-parent and not the boyfriend. The boyfriend came in on the co-parent cooking breakfast in their boxer
Mm,
shorts and tank
interesting.
tops, and I don't think that'll fly.
Hopefully he was wearing full balloons.
I should look that it's important for parents to have healthy boundaries and stick just to co-parenting.
Mm,
We don't need the extra if you know what I'm talking about.
mm, okay.
There doesn't need to be a gray area here, especially when you're dating other people.
And there's guilt too.
Yeah.
A lot of parents feel selfish for dating again. I know my sister was one of those individuals, and I told her, I was like, look, you have to have a life also,
Mhm.
no matter what you do. Yeah, you have to take care of your kids no matter what, because they do come first, but you definitely have to have a life outside of parenting.
Yeah. And I always talk about with my clients, is it about guilt or shame? Guilt is about a behavior that goes against your morals and ethics. Shame is about who you are as a person. Like if I'm dating, I'm being a bad mom or a bad dad or something like that. Shame will send you into a spiral. Guilt may help you actually reconcile relationships. So I want to say this very, very clearly. Wanting companionship is not selfish. When you're fulfilled and you're emotionally healthy, that benefits your children. You're modeling what healthy relationships can look like. You don't have to resign yourself to living a life single and alone just because you have children. Unless, of course, you want to be single. Then that's a whole other story.
Okay, okay. Wait a minute. Hold up. Why did that heal me? But it also roasted me
Mm.
at the same time, even though I'm not a parent, but it made me feel a little certain way. So I don't know. I just think about what she just said though. Let that marinate a little bit and put it in a little bit of jambalaya, gumbo, or
Mm.
AKA some tacos, whatever the hell else you want. So but we're gonna jump into segment three, navigating exes.
Mm.
Man, navigating exes. So they always say, you don't read the alphabet backwards because X is in the back of the freaking alphabet. You always go forward. So,
Mm.
but we don't spell X that way. We spell X as EXES. So, all right, X's. which I have a couple of them,
Uh-huh.
maybe a plethora of them.
Oh.
The gift that keeps on giving, let's just say that. I remember my ex one day texting me, before I left LA, "Hey stranger," at 11:47. I'm like, "Stranger?" I'm like, "Didn't we just share a Netflix password? How did we become strangers all of a sudden?" So you just never know what you're gonna get with your ex. But I can't lie. Sometimes your exes are good people, and
Mhm.
and y'all get along better without each other.
Yeah. And I think when you're navigating a new relationship, it's important that the ex stay the ex, right? But also one of the most revealing things when dating someone is how they talk about their exes, not whether or not they have them. Because again, we all have history. So it's not whether or not they have the ex. How do they talk about their ex?
Mm.
That's key.
Because everybody got a past,
Hmm.
including us.
Exactly. Exactly. But if every ex that a person have is crazy, then there's a pattern worth examining. To be fair, some exes, let's say they do have a lot going on. But regardless, it's important to observe if the person you're dating has a pattern of bashing their exes. If
Mm.
that's the case, the problem might not be the exes, it might be the common denominator, them.
So I say I'm crazy. My exes say I'm crazy. So I guess I must be crazy. So I guess at some point I'm the common denominator.
Maybe, maybe.
Okay. So I guess when you're dating a relationship therapist, are you
Uh-huh.
toxic or is the relationship therapist toxic?
Are you
That's the
both?
crazy thing. Man,
No, no.
toxicity.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Who's toxic? One, the other, or both? Right.
Mm,
And look, when exes are still involved, especially because of kids, clarity is key. It's essential. This is actually similar to what we talked about earlier. We were talking about dating as parents. Transparency and boundaries matter more than pretending things and situations don't exist.
that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Some people are legally divorced, but emotionally still married.
Yeah.
So how do you spot that? Because I'm not a relationship therapist, I'm a
Hmm.
realist. So how would I spot that if I was out there in the field?
Hmm. I mean, look at patterns of behavior, right? I always say patterns of behavior, not instances. What do their body languages look like? How do they communicate? Watch for emotional intensity, constant
Mm,
comparisons. Well, my ex didn't do it that way, and my ex, strong reactions, either hostility or longing, and how
mm,
much they bring up their ex in conversation. How much time does that person and their ex spend together? That's connected to boundaries. Is the ex constantly over at their house under the guise of like, "Oh, I'm visiting the kids." You can visit your kids by taking them to the movies or a park or something like that. Healing looks like indifference, not
mm.
hate, not love, neutral.
So indifference is freedom.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Freedom is good. To me, I think what you just spoke about was a t-shirt
Mm.
and it was a sermon. So if that's the case, then Julie gets the royalties and then I'll take the altar call. And then guess what? I'll pass the collection plate around and it ain't gonna be no chicken in there. It's gonna be money. And I want to hear all quiet bills, nothing that claim. So as we're talking about the exes, we'll go ahead and go down the line talking about I talk about trauma,
Mm.
and trauma is not easy. Trauma, I guess, as a medical provider, trauma is easy to look at,
Mhm.
because you can see something broken or something bleeding, but sometimes you can't see trauma when it's inside the body of a person. I mean, unless they physically show it. Sometimes people may be happy and still have trauma.
Mhm.
All right, this one matters
Mhm.
because trauma is hurtful. It could be multiple things. And before anyone tenses up, we're keeping this real, not heavy.
Yes, yes. And it's important to keep in mind when people think of trauma, they think usually mostly about physical abuse or schmexual abuse, because I know YouTube has rules about those kind of words. But trauma isn't always big explosive events, it can also be years of dismissal, betrayal, gaslighting, manipulation, emotional abuse, financial abuse, emotional neglect, verbal abuse. Abuse can happen almost like death by a thousand cuts, not just these big explosive circumstances. And really quick, if any of this is hitting close to home, just pause, take a big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. You don't have to process everything right now. Trauma recovery takes time, a lot of time. And it's important to know that you don't have to process it alone. Therapists are there to help you unpack and walk through it.
So, how does trauma actually show up in dating then?
Hmm.
Since you're talking about all this good therapist, doctorate talk that I don't understand, but I trying to follow through with it.
It shows up as patterns of behavior, self-sabotage, maybe hypervigilance, like a higher sensitivity to things like comments or gestures, shutting down when things feel uncomfortable. And this is important because when you experience trauma, toxicity can make you feel uncomfortable, but
Mhm.
so can health. If you've been used to toxicity or chaos, peace or health can feel unsettling, maybe even boring sometimes because
Mm.
you're used to your nervous system constantly being activated. And when you're used to your system being activated for so long, when you have calm, it can almost feel
So
strange.
if I'm used to toxicity and then
Mhm.
I get somebody that calm and peaceful, it's I consider that as boring
Mhm.
instead of a good relationship.
Yeah, because maybe your nervous system just isn't triggered when you're
Because
used to being
toxicity
triggered.
drives us, just like it drives the internet, just like it drives us to look at these, certain movies that you already know the person is going to cheat on the person or the
Mm.
person is going to do this. But guess what? We thrive off that freaking toxicity, so we continuously watch it.
Yes, and if you're used to these highs and lows, when things are steady, it can feel a little boring because you're used to the argument and the blow up and then the love bombing and then the cycle continuing.
So we can't, so you can't, I guess, in my eyes, while I'm listening to what you're saying, I can't just decide not to have trauma. If that worked, then my personal therapist will be out of a job.
Absolutely.
So I'll be perfect, correct?
Right, if we could
Okay.
just switch it off, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess that would be great, but it doesn't really happen that
Mm.
way. Healing requires awareness, right? So you first have to be aware that you're having responses because of trauma. A lot of people aren't. Therapy helps sort of bring that to the forefront and helps you unpack that and examine it.
Mm.
Reflection helps. Mindfulness helps, being able to examine something going on in your body and your mind without judging it.
Mm.
And processing the trauma helps. You don't need to be fixed or perfect to be loved. We all have scars, but even with the scars, we can still create beauty in our lives.
And I'm gonna put my 2 cents on that. If you're dating someone with trauma, you're not they're not your therapist. I'm gonna be honest with you because I thought I was a while back, and I realized this woman was just bringing me down even more.
Mm,
And she had her own issues. I had my own issues, but she couldn't fix what I needed to be fixed.
yeah. Yeah. Even if you are a therapist, you're not your partner's therapist.
Yeah.
You can be safe, you can be consistent, you can be supportive or listening ear, but you can't heal someone for them. And if you're the one carrying the trauma, I want you to hear this. You are not too much. When you feel triggered, ask yourself, is this the present or is this the past talking? Because
Mm.
sometimes, even if we're in a healthier relationship, we can react to conversations or dynamics like we're reacting to past trauma.
So I'm gonna pause that again and let that one marinate. She said she's just talking some wisdom, some knowledge, something that just to make you think. I mean, it got me thinking over here like, damn, am I supposed to be with her or is she supposed to be with another therapist? So for me, it's a little bit like it brings up bad and sometimes good memories, but it's still things I'm dealing with on a daily basis. And that's to be truthful with y'all out there. So we're gonna go with a little bit of hot takes and some rapid fire like
Okay.
we did in the past. So hot take one. You should be fully healed before dating.
I'm going to say false. I don't know. Healing is a process, right? So think about growth and progress, not perfection. If we all waited till we were perfect, no one would be dating, right? So think about developing and progressing on a trajectory instead of cycles of behavior, right? So if we think of cycles as unhealthy, but if we're growing on a trajectory, that's something we can work with.
So basically, I agree with your falseness. So basically, if we all waited for everybody to be healed, basically we all would be single forever.
Right.
That's honest to God true. I
Yes.
said what I said. We will all be single forever.
Yep,
Period.
true.
So hot take two. A new partner should automatically respect my co-parenting.
Okay. Baseline respect, like human decency level respect. Yes, of course. Like everyone, we should treat everyone with respect. Earn trust. That happens over time.
I agree. I agree. So disrespect your co-parent. that's a no.
No.
But it does take time to earn respect when you're co-parenting, and it depends how you're parenting. I mean, we got good parents, we got bad parents,
Yeah.
people that don't that shouldn't be parents, but they are parents,
Yeah.
and people that wanna be parents can't be parents because they can't have kids.
Very
So, it's
true.
vice versa. So, hot take 3. So, talking about trauma on a first date is a beautiful, beautiful red flag or green flag, or maybe it's a yellow flag, or maybe it's a dirty red flag.
Okay. I mean, okay, vulnerability is a good thing,
Yeah.
right? Vulnerability is beautiful. Emotional dumping before appetizers is a lot, right?
Yes.
Like, we don't need to unload everything on the first date. Let's
Yes.
get to know each other a little bit first.
I think my thing is, and this may be kinda crazy, but if we're discussing childhood abandonment before dessert, I'm concerned about how we pacing on this date. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
haven't even split the check yet, but we will be splitting the check if we're talking about any kind of freaking trauma during the first date that we've been out there. I'm just not into that. I wanna make the first date happy and nice and
Mhm.
good. So
I agree.
so
So, if you're dating in your 40s and feel like your baggage makes you feel unlovable, it doesn't. It makes you human and it makes you real.
makes you real. And if you're dating someone with baggage, grace
Mm,
matters. Boundaries matter. You can be kind without carrying everything.
yeah.
Sometimes you have to think about it. You're not a bellhop. You got to know your limits. You're not somebody carrying somebody's baggage all the time. We all got to carry our own baggage, especially if you're dealing with a woman that carries a huge bag on a 3-day trip, which I can do mine in one bag. She can do hers in multiple bags, and we're
Okay.
paying a little extra for those bags. Just know that.
Guilty. Okay. And boundaries are an essential part of managing baggage. Boundaries are an act of love, not rejection. Boundaries create a framework for healthy interactions in relationships.
So, by saying that, we want to say thank you for listening. And we appreciate all the new subscribers. That's it for this episode for dating with baggage, kids, exes, and everything we keep dragging into the new situations like it's a carry on. So, we would just want to ask you again to like, subscribe, share this with someone who needs it. Send us your stories, send us your comments. We want to hear what you dealing with when it comes to baggage and exes and red flags. We want to see, do you think we should talk about something else different
Mm.
beside what we're talking about already? So I'm Ramon,
And I'm Julie.
and this is Built
Built
Different,
different,
where
where
therapy
therapy meets
meets reality.
reality.
All right, y'all have a good one. Later.
Bye.